Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Naruto falls in love with Samui during the Chunin Exams, part 1. Subscribe if you enjoy the video. Let's start the story. October 10, the night that will be forever carved into the hearts and minds of every citizen of Konohagakure. The citizens of Konoha at first, however, were blissfully unaware of the impending destruction of their homes. The abrupt attack of the nine-tailed demon fox had disrupted the normality and tranquility of this day. The large fox's tails destroyed the village as it trashed them around. It snarled and roared loudly as more of the village suffered. The shinobi of the Hidden Leaf bravely rushed the fox in the name of protecting their families and homes. As the attack commenced within the village, young shinobi and citizens had already been evacuated to the forest, which overlooked the village. A barrier prevented anyone from getting in, likewise from getting out. However, the fact that the young shinobi couldn't fight alongside their teachers and comrades made them very restless. This is ridiculous. How are we supposed to prove our youthfulness if we are stuck here? Asked a young 16-year-old Might guy. There isn't anything we can do, said Kakashi with a sigh. The fox growled and slammed its hand on a group of shinobi. Ai's hands were white as he balled it into a fist. Swan-sama and Jiraiya-sama ordered us to stay here, so that's what we'll do, follow their orders and stay here, surmised Yoba. That right appeared in front of the large group of shinobi. This isn't your fight, this fight is for the current generation of ninjas to fight. If we all perish then it'll be your job to carry on the will of fire. He gave them the thumbs up, then disappeared again. All we can do is wait for more orders, said Asuma Sarutobi. Everyone else all had emotionless looks on their faces, it was a really solemn atmosphere. Whilst observing the carnage before them, a small cry from behind them broke their trances. They all looked at the source, their expressions softening as they observed the young child. Naruto Namikaze, son of the Yellow Flash, and the Benihim of Konoha. Swan and Jiraiya dropped him off here so they could go fight the Kyuubi. The young boy had yellow pajamas on, adjoining them was a pattern of animals. He had spiky blonde hair and azure eyes, which made him look a lot like Minato. At the moment he was upset, angry, and frightened all at the same time. He threw a tantrum when Tsunade and Jiraiya told him that he had to stay here. He proclaimed that he wanted to fight and protect the village. In many ways he was very similar to Kushina at times, however, his personality best matched Minato's. He was a quiet and well-mannered boy, his parents never spoiled him, and, as such, he wasn't a bratty child. His frightened dark azure eyes scanned the burning village as he watched his home be destroyed by the large fox. Kakashi walked over to him, his eyes closed, indicating that he was smiling. "Hi there Naruto-kun," he said. Naruto looked at him and quickly wiped his tears away. "I wasn't crying, okay," he said as he turned his head away and crossed his arms. Kakashi chuckled softly. "I wouldn't worry about your parents and your little brother Naruto, they'll be fine," said Kakashi. He whimpered at the mention of his parents and his unborn little brother. Kakashi looked perplexed and unsure what to do. There, he patted him on the back, unsure on what to do. "Come on, Naruto-chan," said Shizune. She walked up to him and picked him up, he rocked him back and forth to soothe the crying child. "You're hopeless, you know that?" she asked. Kakashi rubbed the back of his head. "Shizune?" asked Kurenai. "Shouldn't you be in the hospital?" she asked. "I did request to be, but Tsunade-sama said that they had enough medics and that my safety was more important," she sighed. "Are my Ka-chan, Tusan going to be okay?" "Ka-chan said that she had to be careful because she had my little brother in her tummy," he said. She really couldn't answer that question, after all they had no idea what was happening at the present time. Nor did she know about the situation in the leaf, well besides the horrific view. "Naruto-kun, you don't need to worry about your parents. Jiraiya-sama, Swan-sama, and Lord Third are backing them up. So don't worry, your little brother in your Ka-chan's tummy is going to be fine, okay?" He smiled again at the young child as he rubbed the top of his head. Naruto nodded and sniffed as he held onto Shizune tight. Shizune noticed that his grip tightened when the fox roared. "You don't have to be scared of Naruto-chan," said Shizune with a smile. "I'm not scared of the fox," he said. "I'm scared because I can't do anything to help the village," he cried. Hiruzen narrowly avoided a rogue tail. He flipped backward and faced the fox. He swiftly went through some hand signs. "Kaiten. Kiryu-enden," he called out as a large stream of fire erupted from his mouth. The stream of fire forced it back a few paces, making it roar. "It's holding out as expected, but I never imagined that it would be this strong." He landed next to some as the Kyuubi roared again. He summoned his adamant staff again. "Alright everyone together, push it out of the village," ordered Sarutobi. Inoichi coordinated the attack, he said. Inoichi made a hand sign, he felt myriad ninja minds become connected with his own. "Alright let's go, Tsume," he yelled. Tsume and a fellow clansman jumped over the large pack of ninja. "That's ga. they both exclaimed as they slammed into the sides of the Kyuubi, making it stumble back. Sume and her fellow clansmen landed on some rubble. "Shikaku!" she yelled. The shadow traveled from Shikaku's feet and wrapped itself around the Kyuubi, restraining it. The Kyuubi roared in discomfort. He struggled against the shadow, making Shikaku as a bead of sweat ran down his forehead. "Now Choza!" he exclaimed. Choza in expanded form charged at the Kyuubi. He shoulder tackled the large fox, making a double over several paces in front of the hidden leaf gate. "Alright, Inoichi," called Choza. "Everyone's together," he thought as he made the ram hand sign. All the leaf ninja fired off all manner of blows at the fox. The fox was hit with a barrage of attacks that stunned him and forced him outside of the perimeter of the village. He snarled and thrashed his tails and destroyed some of the forest. "This thing is tough," said an Anbu. "No matter what the hidden leaf, I will not lose." Sarutobi and the other Anbu disappeared in a burst of speed toward the fox to continue the battle. "Naruto, I know it's hard, but we're all feeling the same way you are," she told the young child. "This is our home and we want to protect it," said Shizune. "I think you're very brave and mature for your age for saying that." She kissed him on the forehead, making him blush. A few moments of silence followed until Naruto spoke up. "Iji is really quick," said Naruto as he watched the Nine Tails get beat back by the third Hokage's adamant staff. "Yeah, he's the strongest of his generation," said Kakashi. "Yosh, Naruto-kun, do not fret, for we will triumph," said Guy with a thumbs up. "You're weird," he giggled, cheering up. Every person in the area struggled not to laugh. I cried as his ego was crushed by the 5-year-old. "Bachan and Pervy Sage aren't as fast," said Naruto as the duo delivered a double uppercut to Kyuubi. "How can you tell, Naruto-kun?" asked Kakashi. "2 said that I have Kaka." "Deke Genkai," said Kakashi with a chuckle. "Yeah, that one," said Naruto. 2 said that nobody in our family has had one in ages, Naruto explained. "Well, he's distracted at least," thought Kakashi. "Swan-chan, Jiraiya-kun, I take it that the birth of Kushina and Minato's newest child didn't go as planned," said Sarutobi. "Yes, unfortunately you're right," said Tsunade. "There were complications," she sighed. "It can't be helped, our priority is to force the Kyuubi back so it can do no more damage," said the wise leader. "Where are Minato and Kushina, are they okay?" asked Hiruzen. "Yes, they're alright, as far as I know," said Tsunade. Minato arrived with a yellow flash above them. He appeared in front of the Kyuubi with a serious look on his face. He touched Kyuubi's forehead and teleported the both of them outside the village. "Where are they?" asked Sarutobi. "Over there," said Jiraiya as he pointed outside the village as a large explosion rocked the area. "Let's go," said Swand. The seasoned shinobi disappeared in a burst of speed toward the site, intent on helping the young Kage. Dusan just teleported away and said Naruto was still in Shizune's arms. "How did you know that, Naru-chan?" asked Shizune. "Is it your Keki Genkai?" asked Kakashi. "Yeah, Kachan just teleported with him too," said Naruto. "That's quite an ability you've got there," said Kakashi. "Do you know what it's called?" he asked. "The Swifty released," he laughed. "The Swifty released?" Kakashi thought for a second. "I think you mean the swift release, Naruto-kun," he chuckled. "Oh yeah, that's what I said," he laughed. "I don't know anything about it though," he said. "So I guess it has to do with the speed then," said Kakashi. Kakashi and the other teens continued to make conversation with him to keep him distracted, even if none of them felt like talking. The young child was frightened and needed them. 10 miles outside of Konoha, Kushina subdued the large fox with her chakra chains as she looked down at her newborn son, who started crying again. "I'm sorry, Ren-chan, did Kachan wake you up?" asked as the baby wailed. Minato appeared in front of her in a yellow flash. "Kushina-chan, are you alright?" he asked. "DCH, I'm tougher than you," she grinned. "I can't argue with that," he chuckled. "Listen, Kushina-chan, I can't let Naruto-chan and Ren-chan grow up without a mother. I can't seal the Kyuubi back into you, otherwise you'll die, so the burden falls to Ren-chan. I have to seal him into Ren-chan." A tear rolled down his face. "Minato, it's a heavy burden to place upon a person," she sobbed. "I understand, Kushina, but at the present moment this is the best course of action that we can take. Lord Third, Swand and Jiraiya-sensei are heading toward us now," he sighed. "I want to use the Tekmskin to seal the Kyuubi in Ren-chan," he growled. "I wish there was another way, but we're running out of time and we don't have any options right now, Kushina," the Kyuubi growled as he finished his sentence. "You won't seal me away again, whelp," he roared as went to strike Ren. Sarutobi's adamant staff knocked the Kyuubi back a few paces and Kushina tightened her hold on him. Kushina, Minato, and the 3 older shinobi appeared on the battlefield. The 3 cage-level shinobi looked down at the small bundle in front of Kushina. He was about to be burdened with a terrible destiny. But if anyone could bear this burden, it was Minato and Kushina's child. "As Naruto-chan," Kushina breathed exhausted. "Is he alright?" she asked. Don't worry, we dropped him off at the barrier, he's been looking after, reassured Swan. Kushina breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that her eldest was safe. Tsunade ran to her often and placed her hand on her back. Her hand glowed as she used the Shinsen jutsu to heal her wounds. She breathed in as she felt her chakra return. Alright, let's do it, said Jiraiya once Swan had finished. Minato summoned a small altar and placed his crying newborn son on it. The four shinobi seemed on different sides of the Kyuubi forming a square. They all went through the necessary hand seals, their palms glowed, and they all held out their hands as the Kyuubi struggled against Kushina. Kyuubi looked into Kushina's eyes, he showed fear. I'm sorry Kuruma, she smiled at him. But you're far too dangerous to roam free, Kyuubi snarled and thrashed against the chains. His eyes looked at Kushina, but he saw Hashirama. No. Not again. He roared again. Together. Tekmfkin. The four shinobi yelled at once as the jutsu was activated. The fox roared one last time until it changed form into a large cloud of chakra. He was then dragged into the seal on Ren's stomach. Kushina placed her hand on her child's stomach. Kin, she exclaimed as the seal appeared on Ren's stomach. After silence followed for a few moments until Minato collapsed, as did Sarutobi. The young boy wailed even louder, somehow, someway, aware of the heavy burden he has been charged with to bear and only a few hours old. Ren, she stroked her son's head lovingly. Kushina felt her eyes go heavy, her seal being broken, and giving birth finally catching up to her as she fell next to her son exhausted. Tsunade shooshined next to her and picked her up. Let's get them to the hospital, Minato nodded as he picked up Sarutobi and Minato. Right, call Kakashi to collect Naruto, said Jiraiya as they both nodded to each other. Swan managed to grab Ren as well, and the two ninja disappeared in a burst of speed. A few hours later, Hidden Leaf Hospital. Kakashi carries Naruto into the hospital as the revolving doors open for them. Kakashi held Naruto to his chest, not wanting to expose the young child to the horrors that he looked upon. Kakashi-nai, where are we? Asked Naruto. We're at the hospital, don't you want to see your Kachan, Tusan, and your new baby brother? They're all resting in the room down the hall, said Kakashi as he let Naruto look up. They're all here? He exclaimed. Yes Naruto, but this is a hospital, and you have to be quiet, scolded Kakashi making Naruto nod. Kakashi opened the door to see Minato and Kushina on separate beds next to each other. In the middle was a crib with a small bundle wrapped up in a blue blanket. Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Hiruzen were sitting on different chairs in the room. Gigi, said Naruto as he wiggled out of Kakashi's embrace and into the old Hokage's. Ho-ho, Naruto-kun, said the Hokage as he picked him up. Gigi or Kachan, and Yusan okay? He asked. Yes they're both fine, other than a few scraps and bruises all they need is a good nap, he said sincerely. Naruto smiled at the old man. Suddenly a small cry could be heard from the crib in between Minato and Kushina. What's that? Asked Naruto. That's your new baby brother Naruto-kun, would you like to meet Ren? Asked Sarutobi. The young Namikaze nodded his head vigorously. Okay then, the former Kage brought Naruto over to the crib. Holding him so he could see into the crib. Hi, I'm your big brother Naruto, nice to finally meet you Ren-chan, said Naruto with a smile. The baby stopped crying when he saw Naruto's face. He had violet eyes like his mother and a small tuft of red hair at the top of his head. Ren giggled and held his arm out at Naruto, he grabbed his blonde hair and pulled it. I think he likes Naru-chan, said Swant. Naruto-chan, I'm so glad you're okay, Naruto looked up at Minato who smiled. Kusan, said Naruto. Sarutobi put Naruto down on his bed and Naruto crawled over into his father's hold. Are you and Kachan okay? Asked Naruto, concerned and unsure. I wouldn't worry about me, especially not your Kachan, you know how tough she is, he chuckled weakly. You should be resting, kid, said Jiraiya. I'm Hokage, I don't need sleep, he laughed. Tusan you were flashing around so fast, were you in a battle? He sobbed. That other guy while you were fighting. He wasn't as fast as you, but he knew where you were gonna be. I thought you were in trouble, he said. Minato chuckled. That Kekkei Genkai of yours huh? Said Minato. It's certainly becoming stronger as you get older, Minato chuckled. Naruto closed his eyes as sleep began to overtake him. Yes, sensei, is there an Namikaze Kekkei Genkai? Asked Kakashi. Don't worry Kakashi, I'll explain it all later. But for now, I can't keep my eyes open, he chuckled again. The father and son duo fell asleep together and began snoring lightly. They're both asleep, commented Jiraiya. Ah, they're so alike it's ridiculous, chuckled Tsunade. Sometimes, Naruto-kun does have a little temper at times, said Sarutobi. I can already tell you about Ren-chan, he's going to be like his mother. Those Uzumaki features are a definite sign, said Jiraiya. Kakashi-kun, said Sarutobi. Kakashi looked up, broken out of his stupor. As you know, Minamoto-kun will be extremely busy rebuilding the village and not to mention that he'll be a new baby, he explained. I want you to take up Naruto's training and teach him to be a shinobi. Kakashi blinked in confusion. But Sir Anbu, I would love to be the one to teach Naruto, but don't worry about Kakashi-kun, Sarutobi smiled. I've reappointed you. I think you'll enjoy the change of pace, it'll be a lot less stressful, and you'll get to spend time with him, said Hiruzen. Okay, I'd like that, Sarutobi-sama, said Kakashi with a smile. Life in the Hidden Leaf had finally begun to settle down after a few months. The people had settled back into everyday life. The happenings of that night on October 10th will always be remembered, however, as per Minato and Kushina's wishes, the truth about Ren Namikaze's status as a Jinchuriki would be kept secret, and breaking that law was considered an S-class crime and punishable by death. The damage to the village was all but fixable, and no lasting effects from the Kyuubi attack would be forever present in Konohagakure. The Academy, Hokage Monument, and Memorial Site had luckily remained unscathed. Right now though, the Namikaze household's residents' ears were being damaged pretty heavily. Calm down, Ren-chan, it's okay, Ka-chan's here. Soothed Kushina as she rocked a few week-old baby back and forth in her arms. She was in Ren's room, it had teddy bear wallpaper that adorned the walls. The room was a bright blue, it had a changing table, a crib, and a bookshelf. The room was very well set up. Ren's cries began to soften. Ka-chan, is Ren-chan okay? He sounds upset, asked Naruto as he poked his head out through the opening in the door. It shocked her, every time she saw Naruto it shocked her. The likeness between her eldest son and Minato was uncanny. Same hairstyle, same eyes, same nose, same face. The only difference was that Naruto wasn't as shy as Minato was, although he was quite. However, whenever Naruto did say something he showed maturity above and beyond a 5-year-old child. Oh, Naruto-chan, don't worry about him, he's just testing out his lungs, she smiled. You did the same thing when you were this small, you wouldn't remember, but you were a very noisy baby, she giggled when he shook his head. I wasn't, at least I don't think I was, he thought out loud. Oh, trust me, Naruto-chan, your Ka-chan was there, she sighed. Naruto walked over to her and put his hands on her dress. Are you okay, you look sleepy? He asked. Oh, you're so sweet, she put her hand on his head. But you don't have to worry about Naruto-chan, it's just what happens when a new baby arrives, she giggled. Ka-chan, how does a baby arrive? He asked as he looked up at her with innocent blue eyes. Kushina blushed at her son's question. Well, you see, Naruto-chan, you can, she was at a loss for words, she hadn't prepared for this talk. Jiraiya walked past Ren's door and she coughed. Ask your Oji-san, she said. He asked as he looked into the room. Oji-san, Kushina put her hand over his mouth as soon as she remembered just who Jiraiya was and what he was all about. What is Naruto-kun? He asked. Never mind him, Jiraiya, she giggled nervously. He just shrugged and walked on. Naruto grabbed her hand and pushed it away. How come you did that for Ka-chan? He asked. Because, it's a surprise, she said. A surprise? Asked Naruto excitedly. Yes, Naruto-chan, a surprise. I'll tell you when you're older, she laughed. Oh, he contemplated this for a few seconds, then smiled. Okay, he said. Ka-chan? He asked. She looked at him with a smile. Could you teach me some ninjutsu? He asked. Kushina chuckled. Oh, Naruto-chan, she rubbed the top of his head. Do you want to become a ninja? She asked. Naruto nodded his head furiously. Why do you want to become a ninja? She asked. So I can protect everyone, he said simply. Why? She asked. Why do you ask so many questions? He asked as he cocked his head to the side. Oh, just curious, she smiled. What does that mean? He asked. It means that I wanted to know. Before he was about to open his mouth again, she put her finger to his lips. I wanted to know because I needed you to give me a good reason for me to teach you, she giggled. Of course I'll teach you, Naruto-chan, we can start after lunch if you want, he smiled and hugged her. Thank you, Ka-chan, he said. You're most welcome, my handsome boy, she put Ren down in his crib and wrapped his arms around him. But Naruto-chan, we won't be able to do this often, she said with a frown. A new baby is a lot of work, I promise we'll do this whenever I find time, his expression saddened. Don't worry, Kakashi-kun will come over and he'll help you become a ninja, she laughed when his expression brightened. You and Kakashi-nai are going to teach me to be a ninja. He chirped. Yup, she smiled. How about you go and talk to your father, he's in his office, she suggested as Ren began to cry again. Okay, bye-bye, Ka-chan, he walked out. Naruto walked through the halls of the Namikaze compound until he reached his father's office door. He knocked on it and waited for a reply. Come in, he heard his father call. Naruto opened the door and was met with his father's smiling face. Although he had to look over the stack of paperwork, it was a strange smile. Oh, Naruto-chan. What a surprise, Naruto walked up to his father and he lifted him up onto his lap. What is it? He asked. Is your Ka-chan okay? He looked down at his son. Ah-chan, she's okay, she's just sleepy is all, he said. Oh, so what if you want Naruto-chan, we can play after dinner, he offered. Okay Tusan, but he blushed in embarrassment. I want to be a ninja, so I was wondering. What's the first thing I have to learn? He asked. Oh so you want to be a ninja like your Ka-chan, and your grandparents, he chuckled. That's awesome Naruto-chan, said Minato. Really? He asked. Of course, being a ninja is a hard job, you're very brave for wanting to be a ninja, he said. Naruto blushed again at his father's praise. But to answer your question, Minato swirled around on his chair to the bookshelf behind him. He pulled off a book titled, The Beginner Guide to Becoming a Shinobi. You can read this, said Minato. The book on how to be a ninja? Asked Naruto. Yup, I'm sure your Ka-chan will read it to you if you ask nicely. She might even teach you some cool ninja stuff if you're good, he whispered the last part. Really? He asked with a smile. Why don't you go play in the backyard? I'm sure your eagle friend is missing you, he chuckled. Naruto took the book from his father's hands and hugged him. He hugged his son back and then patted him on the forehead. He then lifted him back down. Off you go now, have fun, he said as he watched his son walk out. Naruto walked out into the backyard of the Namikaze compound after he put the book back in his room. He was instantly greeted by a small bird who landed on top of his head. Hi there Talon, he giggled. The eagle chick chirped happily at him. Do you wanna play? I bet you can't catch me, he laughed. Not waiting for an answer he took off laughing playful. The young chick flew up and began to fly after him. He's so cute, said Tsunade as she watched him play with his friend from the porch on the opposite side of the yard. Well he was bound to be adorable, Minato was a cute kid. If Naruto's lucky he'll be as good looking as his grandfather, he chuckled. Tsunade smirked. I'm just so glad that Minato-chan and Naruto-chan inherited my blonde hair, she chuckled. Your hair makes you look older than you really are dear, Jiraiya's face turned blue. Tsunade that hurt, he sighed. I'm not old because you keep me young, he smiled. She giggled and kissed him on the cheek. Good save, she turned back to watch her grandson run around frantically with a smile on his face. It's a shame that he had to witness the Nine-Tails attack, she sighed. He doesn't look all that affected, said Jiraiya. In fact I was just talking to Kushina, she thinks that Naruto wants to become a ninja now, so he can protect what he cares about, he explained. That's a pretty good reason, she said. Well my reason was a lot better, so I could get all the girls, he giggled. Tsunade's eyebrow twitched. Well why don't you go and find all those girls? She humped and turned the other way. Tsunade I was only joking, I never actually got that many, he said sheepishly. Yeah I know, but you got the best one, she chuckled and stood up. Where are you going? He asked. To go see my youngest grandson, she said as she walked back inside. Jiraiya sighed and looked out to his grandson. He giggled as he fell over on the grass. He instantly sat up and spat some grass out of his mouth. Okay you win, now I'll chase you, he laughed as the bird flew away and Naruto chased after him. Alright Naruto-chan, you ready? Asked Kushina. Naruto and Kushina stood in the backyard together. Yup, Tusen gave me a book, he said. I couldn't read it all because of all the big words, but I got that I had to turn on my your chakra, she finished. Yeah that, he said. You're very smart because that's what we have to do, she made the ram sign. This is called the ram sign, there are 11 other ones you need to know, she said. 11, that's so much, he said. Wow. He exclaimed. Yup, but don't worry about those, just do this one, she said. Naruto made a crude ram sign, he just couldn't get his fingers to do what he wanted. Kushina smiled and grabbed his hands and corrected the position. You got it, she praised. Now this part I can't help you with, a blue aura began to swirl around Kushina. Naruto reached out and touched it. It's warm isn't it? She asked. He nodded. That's because chakra is the life energy in everything, she explained. Now I want you to look deep inside. Then I want you to draw that energy to the surface. So close your eyes, he did as he was instructed. Now see if you can find your chakra, you should feel a pull in your belly, she poked his stomach eliciting a small giggle from the boy. Okay you got it? She asked. Naruto's eyebrow furrowed and his face began to turn red. Naruto-chan you aren't supposed to hold your breath she exclaimed. Naruto breathed in and fell down. I couldn't get it, he said downtrodden. That's because you were focused on holding your breath, try again, she said. And this time, breathe child. She scolded. He nodded and made the ram sign. Now I want you to look deep inside. Then I want you to draw that energy to the surface, he remembered. Look inside and then I just got it. Unknown to him a small blue aura began to swirl around him. Okay Naruto-chan that's. Suddenly a burst of chakra came forth from his form. It blew Kushina's long hair back and some stray leaves. He opened his eyes again with a smile. I think I did it that time, he said. He has so much chakra it's ridiculous. I'm glad that he asked me to help him before his reserves got too big for him to control and he struggled to even create a Bushin, she thought. That's amazing Naruto-chan, you did it, she praised as she hugged him. He blushed in embarrassment. Ah-chan, I don't feel so good. He began to lose his grip on her dress. Kushina helped him to the ground. It'll pass, she said. He just used a lot of chakra for his age, now wonder he feels a little flat, she thought as she watched her son gain his bearings. That's enough for today's Naruto-chan, she said. Hey Kushina-sama, Naruto-kun, waved Kakashi as he walked into the backyard with a smile behind his mask. Hi Kakashi Nai, he tried to get up but fell back down. Kakashi chuckled. You alright there kiddo? He asked. He's fine, just a little frazzled. He activated his chakra for the first time, she explained. That's awesome Naruto-kun, said Kakashi. Although, judging from the look on your face I don't think you're up for any training today, he laughed. Not true, he struggled to his feet but immediately fell down. I'm not sleepy, I just can't. You've used up a lot of energy, said Kakashi. That's alright, I can come by another day, he turned around and Kushina coughed. Nuha, there is something I want you to do, said Kushina. I want you to read Naruto-chan, a book that Minato-kun gave him, she said. Sensei? He asked. He gave Naruto a book and you want me to read it to him, he reiterated. Yup, it's in his room, you two have fun, I'll see you both at dinner, she waved as she walked back into the Namika's compound to check on her baby and Tsunade. Alright Naruto-kun, can you stand? Asked Kakashi slightly amused. Not very good, he crossed his arms. Ma, Naruto-kun, he waved down. Don't look so frustrated, Kakashi picked him up. I'm not frustrated, he huffed. It's easy to tell when you're lying, said Kakashi as he walked inside. Is not, Naruto argued. Kakashi walked into Naruto's room. Naruto sat down on the bed with his feet dangling over the side. Kakashi picked up the book that Kushina was alluding to in the backyard. The Beginner Guide to Becoming a Shinobi, he read aloud. Chapter 1, Chakra, he looked down at the book. Chakra ore is the most essential part of the most basic technique, Naruto looked at him with curious eyes as he read on. Through various methods, the most common of which is hand seals, chakra can be controlled and manipulated to create an effect that would not be possible otherwise, such as walking on water, exhaling fire, or creating illusions, he read. Wow, can shinobi do all that? Asked Naruto. Yes, they can with training and many years of experience, explained Kakashi. Naruto nodded and then yawned. Kakashi continued to read on. Chakra is ordinarily not visible to the naked eye unless it is highly concentrated, manipulated by one's own natural element or manifested in large amounts. Kakashi looked up to see Naruto had a confused look on his face. Don't get it? He asked. Naruto shook his head. Okay, did your Kachan show you her chakra? He asked. Naruto nodded in response. And did you see that it was blue? He asked. Yup, it was warm too, he explained. That's because your Kachan has a lot of chakra, so you were able to see it. You can't see most ninjas' chakra because they don't have enough, do you get it now? He asked. Naruto nodded. But what about the element thing? He asked. Don't worry about that, we'll get to that later, said Kakashi. Okay, what's next Kakashi Nai? He yawned. Kakashi smiled. He's about to drop, he thought. He found where he was up to and started reading again. General training methods for improving one's molding and manipulation of chakra are the leaf concentration, tree climbing, and water surface walking exercises, Kakashi finished as he heard a soft snoring. That enough, he chuckled softly. Kakashi removed his shoes and tucked him into bed. Is he asleep yet? Asked Kushina in the doorway. She had a sleeping baby Ren in her arms. Yeah, he's asleep, lasted longer than I expected though, he chuckled softly as he looked down at Naruto's sleeping form. So, now that you've seen what his chakras are like, what's your assessment? He asked. It's certainly like an Uzumaki's in terms of stature, she explained. But it's as potent as Minato's and Tsunade, she said. Meaning? Asked Kakashi. It's very strong, she said. What about the Swifty release? He joked. She joined him in chuckling. Yes, well Minato-kun said that it'll manifest itself when he's older. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's a very rare bloodline, apparently only 2 other people in the Namikaze clan have been known users. The most prominent was of course Riku Namikaze, the one who fought against Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju, explained Kushina. Sounds like it'll be interesting to see how he turns out, said Kakashi. As long as he's happy, she walked over to him and kissed him on the forehead. They both walked out unaware of the smile on Naruto's face. So Naruto-chan, how's your leaf balancing exercise coming along? Asked Kakashi as he entered the training field Naruto was currently in. Kakashi Nai asked as the leaf atop his head fell to the ground. Well, it was going pretty well, he begrudgingly stated. Easy now, Kakashi laughed. How come the Anbu that Kachan sent left? He asked. Huh, oh, and how did you know that there was an Anbu following you? He asked. Because you have a lot of time, Tucson is way faster, he stated. Oh, so the swifty release, chuckled Kakashi. Naruto's cheeks puffed up in embarrassment. I didn't say that, he crossed his arms. While I was there, he cracked his neck. Well, come on, show me how far you've gotten. Kakashi picked up the leaf and handed it to Naruto. Kakashi watched Naruto balance the leaf on his head. Wow, only a day, and you've managed to master it, praised Kakashi. Thanks Kakashi Nai, he smiled. Alright, next exercise, he said with an eye smile. Huh, I thought you were going to teach me something new, he asked as he took the leaf off his forehead. I could do that, but let me explain why these exercises are so important for you. He put his gloved hand on Naruto's shoulder. Listen Naruto-kun, you and your mother are a lot alike, although everyone can see your sensei's son, he chuckled. You have a lot of chakra for a boy your age, so if I taught you a new one, it would take you a lot longer for you to learn it than most children, he explained. Does that mean I'm not good? He asked. No, it'll definitely be a good thing later on. You see, by mastering these exercises you'll be able to control your chakra and you'll be a better ninja for it, explained Kakashi. Don't fret, you only need to master 2 more exercises and then I'll start teaching you some. Naruto's smile beamed at his older brother. Really? You promise? He asked. I promise, he patted him on the head. Alright, the second exercise is the tree climbing practice, Naruto nodded at him and he continued to explain. It's a training method used to gain more skills with chakra control. This training involves focusing a fixed amount of chakra to the bottom of your feet and using that to climb a tree without using one's hands. Naruto looked perplexed. I'm not lying, said Kakashi, sensing his question. If the stream of chakra is too weak, you'll lose your footing on the tree and fall off. If it is too strong, you will be pushed away from the tree, causing the tree to break around the point of contact and again you will fall, Kakashi explained. Now you're only 5 so don't hurt yourself, said Kakashi. Naruto nodded at him. Alright, Kakashi channeled chakra to his feet and he began walking up the small nearby tree. Wow, said Naruto, astonished at the display. When he reached the top he jumped down. Alright, now you try. Remember, just concentrate and you'll be fine, said Kakashi. Naruto did the ram seal and the bottom of his feet became coated in a blue color. Okay, now to keep it balanced, Naruto began to walk up the tree. Taking it one step at a time he ascended up the tree trunk. Hey, I'm doing it, he giggled as he got higher and higher. Naruto looked down. Amazing, he's already got it, thought Kakashi. Hey, Kakashi Nai. Look how high I am, Kakashi chuckled. That's awesome, Naruto now walks back down, don't go any higher, he said. Okay, Naruto then carefully walked back down the tree. He jumped back down onto the floor. I did it, he announced. This kid is something else, thought Kakashi. Alright Naruto-chan, last one before the day is up. If you can get this one I'll take you out for ice cream, he winked at him. Ice cream? Exclaimed Naruto. Yup, now come on, Kakashi picked him up and body flickered away. They landed on stones. They were at a secluded hot spring. The hot springs. Why are we here? Asked Naruto. Kakashi put him down. We're here for the next exercise. The last one is called the water walking technique, he explained. Water walking? Asked Naruto. What? You just walked up a tree, I didn't think you'd be so shocked, he shrugged. I'm not, it's just super cool, he said sheepishly as he rubbed the back of his head. To walk on water you'll need to keep a constant stream of chakra from the bottom of your feet and use the force to walk across the water's surface. This technique is more difficult to master than the tree climbing practice because the amount of chakra that needs to be used changes all the time, he explained. It's kinda the same as the last one, stated Naruto. In many ways yes, but you see. Naruto channeled chakra to his feet and walked onto the water without much trouble. Hey look Kakashi Nai, do I get ice cream now? If Kakashi hadn't been wearing a mask Naruto would have seen him gap like a fish. You can't be serious. He thought. Hey, Kakashi Nai-san, did I do it right? He asked, standing on the water with a smile on his face. This kid is amazing, he thought. Ah yes, that's enough for today Naruto-chan, tomorrow I'll teach you some, he said with a strained chuckle. Oh can you teach me the Rasengan and Uzumaki no he asked. And who told you about those? He asked with a hint of amusement. Oji-san, he said with a hint of regret. Thought as much. Your Kachan's sword step and your father's are a bit too advanced for you at the moment, Naruto looked down. But one day, he knelt down. Listen, I'll teach you some that you'll use for the rest of your shinobi career, Naruto nodded. Alright, now, I owe you some ice cream, said Kakashi. Naruto's face instantly brightened at the mention of the tasty treat. Slow down Naruto-kun, chuckled Kakashi. Naruto licked the treat frantically. He and Kakashi sat in a booth together at the ice cream shop. Kakashi had quickly eaten his ice cream. A testament to that was the empty bowl in front of him. Naruto, however, was quick, but not that quick. He had ice cream all over his face. Well, Mr. Haddock, babysitting, I see, Naruto, and Kakashi looked up to see you, a young girl with brown hair. She wore a flak jacket. Underneath she wore a purple shirt and a typical ninja mesh. She wore long black pants and open-toed blue shinobi boots. Her hair was tied up in a ponytail and 2 bangs framed her face. "Oh hi there Rin," said Kakashi as he waved to his old teammate. "Did you miss me on your last mission?" she asked with a hopeful smile. Kakashi blinked at her question. "Ooh, Kakashi Nai has a girlfriend," chanted Naruto. "And who's this?" asked Rin. "And why did he call you Kakashi Nai?" asked Rin. "This is my younger brother Naruto," he motioned at Rin. "This is my old teammate Rin," he stated, introducing the 2 strangers. "It's nice to meet you Rin-san," said Naruto. Rin smiled and grabbed a napkin, she wiped his face. "It's nice to meet you in Naruto-kun, but you don't have to call me San, you can call me Rin if you want," said Rin. "Okay Rin-chan, are you and Kakashi Nai boyfriend and girlfriend?" Rin blushed at the question. "No we aren't," stated Kakashi. "And you really need to rein in on the embarrassing questions because you know exactly what you're doing," scolded Kakashi. Naruto chuckled. "Nuhe, see her face is red like when you sent smiles at Kachan, that means your boyfriend and girlfriend," stated Naruto. "I shouldn't have to explain this to you at your age," Kakashi sighed. "You're too smart for your own good sometimes," said Kakashi. "Naruto-kun, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?" asked Rin, changing the uncomfortable subject. "Bubble gum," he said excitedly. "No way, mine too," said Rin. "Really?" he asked, and she nodded. "I bet your favorite color is purple," said Naruto as he pointed to her shirt. "Yes, you're very observant for a boy your age," praised Rin. "Thank you Rin-san," said Naruto. "Naruto-kun, you have very good manners, but please, you can call me Rin or Rin-chan if you want," she offered. "I don't really like all the formal stuff," she smiled. "Okay," he smiled. "Naruto-kun, are you going to be a shinobi?" she asked. "Yup. Kakashi Nai is already training me," he said with a beaming smile. "Oh, Kakashi is, Kakashi rubbed the back of his head nervously. "Yup. We just finished today. He said I did good so I got ice cream," he said. "So is Kakashi a good teacher?" she asked. "Well I guess," he said. "Wadya, you guessed it?" asked Kakashi. Naruto cocked his head to the side. I mean, what do you mean by that, Naruto-kun?" He coughed. "Well you're okay, I guess," he shrugged. Kakashi's sweat dropped. "You can't use that, that's mine," said Kakashi. "He's so cute," said Rin as she hugged Naruto making him blush. "Rin, you shouldn't encourage him," said Kakashi as he held his hand out. "Come on Kakashi, you've been doing that to people for years." But when someone used it against you, she giggled as she put Naruto on her lap. A rain cloud appeared over Kakashi's head as he looked down. "So Naruto-kun, what have you learned from Kakashi-kun?" she asked. "I learned," he thought out loud. "I learned how to use chakra, the leaf balancing, tree walking, and water walking," Rin laughed. "What's so funny?" asked Naruto. "You're a bad liar," she giggled. "He isn't lying," said Kakashi with an eye smile. "Not another genius," she smiled. "Yes, another genius," Kakashi chuckled. "He's a lot like Minato-sensei," said Kakashi. "So everything just comes naturally to him huh," she said as he looked down at the mop of blonde hair underneath her chin. "Yeah, he's got a talent for the shinobi arts that's for sure," Kakashi gave Naruto an eye smile. Naruto blushed at the kind words. Thank you," he said meekly. "Oh you're just too cute Naruto-kun," squealed Rin. She hugged him, making his head squeeze between her breasts. "Rin-chan," said Kakashi. "Yeah," she responded with a small blush at the chan suffix that he rarely used. Muffled Naruto as he struggled to breath. "Oh, sorry Naruto-kun," she pulled him away and he breathed heavily. "You okay?" she asked. He nodded. "Yeah, I'm okay," he breathed and then rubbed the back of his head. "Good, I'm sorry," she said. "That's okay," he smiled. "Hey Rin-chan, can I ask you a question?" She looked at him. "Of course you can Naruto-kun," she beamed. "What was Kakashi Nai like when he was a kid?" Kakashi spluttered at the question. "Why would you ask that?" Kakashi waved his hands. "Because I'm curious," he said remembering his mother's use of wording. "So you're curious about Kakashi-kun when he was a kid?" asked Rin. "Well he always calls you Sensei, if you were on his team then that means you were around Kakashi Nai when he was a little," he said. "So what was he like?" he asked. "Wow, you are smart," she mused. "Okay I'll tell you," she smiled. "Rin, I don't think you should." "Now, Kakashi, he did ask nicely," she stated. Well Kakashi was very crazy about the shinobi rules, he always recited them and told others when they were disobeying them, she smiled. "He's always worn that mask," she pointed. "And he was mean to everyone," she whispered, making Naruto giggle. "Rin you don't have. He was very talented and smart, he used to always outsmart all the bad ninjas," Kakashi averted his eyes. This also made him very nasty sometimes, and he had a bad attitude, she whispered again. But he was also very kind and sweet when he wanted to be, she giggled when Kakashi sighed. Are you finished torturing me? He asked. I think you've had enough for today. I have a mission anyway, she got up from the booth. It was nice meeting you Naruto-kun, she smiled. I'll see you around Mr. Bruder, she giggled and walked away. You had to really look, almost magnify your vision, but Kakashi had the faintest blush on his face. She's nice, said Naruto, as he ate more ice cream. Yeah, I guess, he sighed. Come on, now that you've had your ice cream there's someplace that I want to show you, he said, as he got up. Naruto took one last bite and then followed him. Naruto took Kakashi's hand as they walked through the streets of Konohagakure. We're going to visit your grandfather, said Kakashi. Did you? He asked. Yes, said Kakashi. How come? He asked. Well, I need to ask him about something, and well you like visiting him don't you? He asked. Naruto nodded. Good, said Kakashi with a smile. Naruto and Kakashi walked into the Sarutobi Manor without their shoes on. Asuma was out on a mission and Hiruzen sat outside on the porch drinking some. Sarutobi-sama, Kakashi knocked on the inside door. Hiruzen turned around to see Kakashi giving him an eye smile with Naruto in hand. Sarutobi smiled and gestured for them to come out. Well, isn't this a nice surprise? He got up and hugged Naruto. Hi Gigi, said the young boy politely. Hello to you Naruto-kun, if I knew you were coming I would have prepared some sweets, he gave him a grandfatherly smile. That's okay, Kakashi Nai, and I went out for ice cream, he smiled. Only because I did okay in the new training, he explained. But well, you're underselling yourself kid, thought Kakashi. Oh that's wonderful Naruto-kun, what did you learn? He asked. Actually Lord Third, I'd like to talk to you about that, voiced by Kakashi. Okay then, he turned to Naruto. You can go play in the backyard if you wish, Naruto, he gestured to the space in front of him. Thank you, Naruto giggled. He bowed then jumped off the boards and onto the grass. Now what is it that you'd like to discuss? He asked. Kakashi sat down on the opposite side of the table. It's Naruto sir, he rubbed the back of his head. There's no other way to say this, but he paused. Yes, pushed the former Hokage. Well, he's great, he said with a chuckle. Great. Great, as in great at something or a great child? He asked. No sir, he's great at well today, he mastered every chakra control exercise that most genin can't master, Hiruzen raised an eyebrow. My, it would seem that the Namikas have a penitence for being gifted, he chuckled. But that hasn't been done, not since Minato-sensei, said Kakashi. Well what else did you expect from Minamoto-kun's child? He asked. Why you expected him to be talented? Asked Kakashi. Well, I'd say expected would be the wrong word, he said. Naruto-kun is the first child in the Namikaze clan to be born with their swift-release Kekkei Genkai in a very long time, he chuckled. I always knew that he was special, he smiled. He's also extremely smart for his age, said Kakashi in wonder. Oh my yes, he picks things up very quickly he smiled. Maybe even more so than Minato-kun, he drank some tea. Are you saying that he might be an even greater shinobi than sensei? Asked Kakashi. Well putting a bet on something like that isn't very smart, he said. Minato is a once-in-a-generation prodigy, don't forget Kakashi-kun, Naruto is only 5 years old. To put a stake to the claim that he'll surpass his father is impossible at the moment, he said. However, what do you say we test him? Asked Hiruzen. Test? Asked Kakashi. Yes, Naruto-kun also has Uzumaki heritage, he paused. So why not give him some Kenjutsu to work on, as well? He asked. Kenjutsu is extremely hard to learn, Jiraiya-sama even has to ask Kushina-sama for assistance, Hiruzen chuckled at his comment. Yes, it's extremely hard to learn. Kushina-chan began learning Kenjutsu at a very young age, as well. If Naruto-kun can master some basic seals within a few months then, maybe there might be some merit to the statement that he'll surpass his father, he explained. How would learning Kenjutsu reinforce that statement? Asked Kakashi. Because Minato-kun came asking me for help with Kenjutsu at about his age, as well. So if they're anything alike Naruto-kun will take to it like a fish does to water, he smiled. Alright then, thank you for your time Sarutobi-sama, said Kakashi as he bowed and then stood up. One more thing, Kakashi, said Hiruzen. Yes sir? He asked. Please take good care of my grandson. Although he does wish to become a shinobi, he has a very kind heart and it's my wish that he has a normal childhood, said Hiruzen with a grandfatherly smile. Kakashi bowed. I swear on my life sir, I'll take care of Naruto-kun, said Kakashi. You've made this old soul very happy, he laughed. Naruto at dinner next to his brother at the dinner table. He was in his high chair and he certainly was a messy eater. Naruto laughed when he saw his face, with a pumpkin all over it. Kushina came over and wiped his face. He shook his head, indicating that he did not like it. So Naruto-kun, how was your day with Kakashi? asked Minato. Well, we trained a little bit then got ice cream, he paused as he ate. Chewing with his mouth closed, he finished and then smiled. Then we visited Gigi and I got to play. He also gave me a scroll and rubbed the back of his head. He said it's for you. Naruto pulled a scroll out from his pocket and handed it to his father across the dinner table. Minato gently took the scroll from his eldest and looked at it. Once he finished reading he smiled. Well, it would seem that we have a budding shinobi in the family, said Minato as he smiled at his son. Naruto blushed at the attention he was given by his father. Hiruzen Sarutobi was right about most things. In his old age he had learned many things and retained a lot of information. Information about people. Recently regarding one Naruto Namikaze, Hiruzen had predicted that Naruto would take to Fuinjutsu. Well, Naruto had fallen in love with it to say the least. Kakashi bought him a beginner seal kit which entailed some paintbrushes, ink and paper. He also bought him a book that showed him how to draw kanji. Minato and Kushina had been very surprised that their son was a genius. However, the pair had their suspicions. Especially Minato, who had tested Naruto a couple of times. Minato had deduced that his eldest could retain information at a very high rate. Also that Naruto was a lot like himself when it came to the shinobi arts. Naruto was progressing at amazing speeds. His mother had trained him in chakra control on numerous occasions. He herself had stated when Naruto was born that he's going to be like his father. I can already tell, a mother knows. Naruto had also grown a little taller. His hair had also grown out a little, his bangs reached just below his nose now. He wore a mesh shirt underneath a white shirt. He also had a black and white hoodie on, which was slightly opened at the top. He wore tape around his calves and over a pair of black pants. He also wore blue open-toed shinobi shoes. The youngest Namikaze, Ren, had celebrated his first birthday the other week, just after Naruto's 7th birthday. Both birthdays had been small affairs, only close family and family friends. The two brothers were extremely close, and Ren knew who exactly his big brother was and would often call out to him when he saw him. Ren would often follow Krull after Naruto around the house, always chasing after him, afraid of being left out. Unfortunately, he never got very far. Ren had also spoken his first word a few weeks ago, Kachan, much to Kushina's delight. Seeing as Naruto's first word was Tusan, Minato had hoped to go 2 for 2, but he was significantly busier than he was back when Naruto was first born, whilst he was being groomed for being Hokage. Minato spent as much time with his son as possible. Sadly though, he tried his very best to spend time with Ren, but his Hokage duties kept him busy most of the time. Naruto had excelled in his shinobi training. He had mastered all the academy ninjutsu necessary to pass the exam to become a genin. Kakashi was well aware of this. However, Minato had raised the age for the academy, so Kakashi's request for Naruto to enter the academy was denied. Although Minato was aware that Naruto wouldn't have a problem with the requirements to pass, he wanted him to have a normal childhood and for him to enjoy being a kid. Naruto's taijutsu was also coming along nicely. Kakashi was never adept at this area, but he was competent and taught Naruto the basic leaf kata, in which all genin were taught. However, Naruto had often told him that he didn't like it. As it didn't feel natural, he had learned all the basics despite this. Kakashi had just smiled and told him that one day he'll find a style that'll suit him and it'll come even more naturally to him than anything he had learned prior. Minato had offered Naruto some scrolls on the Namikaze hummingbird style, however, Naruto had declined his offer, much to his surprise. Naruto had reasoned that he didn't want to become a carbon copy of his father and that he wanted to forge his own path. Minato had gained a little more respect for his son as shinobi after that conversation. At the moment though, Naruto was standing with Kakashi at their usual training field. Rin sat on a log observing. She had gotten quite attached to the blonde Namikaze. She found the fact that he was so polite at his age was adorable. To her never-ending delight, he had slipped one day and instead of the usual san suffix he always used, he had called her Rin Onachan. From then on she instead called him that. And so he did. Kakashi-nai, why do you have a piece of paper? He asked. Very astute of you, you noticed, Naruto huffed. Now, I was only joking, he handed it to him. It's a special paper called chakra paper, it'll tell us what your element is, he explained. Oh, so then I can start learning elementary, he asked. Yup, to find out, all you need to do is channel your chakra into the paper. What happens will tell us what element you have. If it splits in half, you have a Futon element. If it turns into dirt, then you have Doton. If the paper becomes soggy, then you have a Suton element. If the paper burns, you have a Katon element, and finally, if it crumbles then you have a Raton element, explained Kakashi. Naruto hadn't taken his eyes off the paper. This was his next step that he had to take in his training to become a splendid shinobi. Alright, let's go, he said, as he channeled chakra into the piece of paper. Naruto then dropped the paper, and he watched in anticipation. After a few moments nothing happened. Is there something wrong with the paper? he asked. I guess that means that you don't have an elemental affinity, said Kakashi. I don't? Asked Naruto, crushed. I'm sorry Naruto, you just have to. The chakra paper was swiftly cut in half. Then the right half burned and the left half crumbled. 3 elements, now things get interesting. I've come to never be surprised by this kid, though Kakashi with a smile. The number of jutsu that you could potentially learn has just doubled, he grinned as he watched Naruto's shocked expression. Is that good? Asked Naruto. That's amazing Naruto-kun, I can tell you're going to be very adept at ninjutsu, he chuckled as he patted Naruto on the head in a brotherly way. Alright, I think we'll start with the Kaiten jutsu. As I know some basic ones, he rubbed the back of his head. Okay, I'm ready, said Naruto. Alright, I'm going to teach you the Kaiten Kankakek no jutsu, explained Kakashi. Kakashi showed Naruto the hand signs. He quickly memorized them, however, the sequence wasn't very fast. Kakashi then told him once he had memorized the sequence that he needed to quicken the pace of his hand signs. It's fine, at least you know it. Now, the key to any Kaiten jutsu is your stomach. They call the stomach the sea of chakra, although yours is full of ramen, he chuckled. You suck in, inhaling air. It'll gradually become easier to do this once you've practiced. Once you've sucked, you'll force the chakra from your stomach, up your esophagus, and out your mouth. It then becomes fire infused with chakra. Kakashi turned around and quickly went through the hand signs. He blew out quite a large fireball. Naruto's hair wisped up as he watched the fire burn. The fire reflected in his eyes, and the smile on his face began to be more and more noticeable. Once the fire receded, Kakashi pulled his mask back up. Okay, Kakashi turned around and gave him an eye smile. Now you try, he said. Naruto walked past him and went through a series of hand signs. Kaiten Kankakek no jutsu, he breathed in, he could feel the chakra travel up from his stomach. He blew out and a stream of fire shot out of his mouth. It was by no means as large as Kakashi, however, it could do harm to a small group of ninja no doubt. Naruto turned away from the Charter with a smile. He had soot on his mouth, he chuckled. 1 week later, after his training with Kakashi and Rin, Naruto had set out to master the Kaiten jutsu to its fullest extent. Kakashi had stressed that whilst he was able to perform it firstly was an achievement. However, the intensity and speed which the jutsu was conducted was subpar. So Kakashi refused to teach Naruto any more jutsu until he could do the fireball jutsu in his sleep. He had done so and was now very proficient. Naruto was currently at home and had resolved to target practice in the Namikaze backyard. He threw 3 kunai at the 3 logs set up. He hit all 3 targets in the bullseye. The 7-year-old smiled at his accomplishment. It's becoming second nature, he thought to himself. Naruto went to walk over to retrieve his kunai, he stopped mid-step. Somebody jumped from behind him with a kunai. The young boy thrust down with a kunai. Naruto pulled out a kunai and the two met with sparks. Kushina answered her front door with Ren in her arms. She smiled when he saw who it was. It was her best friend. Makoto Uchiha, her son Sasuke, was also in her arms. Makoto, you're glowing. And this is little Sasuke, she cooed. Hi Kushina, thank you, you're glowing yourself. I think Itachi-kun went around to your backyard to play with Naruto-kun, Kushina smiled. Yes, that boy is always out, always learning something new, she said. Well, are you going to invite me? She laughed. Kushina blushed in embarrassment. Of course I was. She yelled and stepped outside, allowing a giggling Makoto into her home. I really hope that Itachi-kun and Naruto-kun can become friends, she said as they walked through the Namikaze compound. Yeah, maybe they'll even become rivals like us, laughed Kushina. Of course, you never beat me though, she gave her a sly grin. What? You just can't admit when you lose, that's your problem, said Kushina with her arms crossed over her ample bosoms. What's your problem? Asked Naruto as he held the attacker at bay. My name is Itachi Uchiha and well, I didn't know how to approach you. So I decided that a direct approach would be best, he smiled. Itachi was a similar height to him and also a recognized genius like Naruto. Itachi had a long ponytail tied at the back of his head. 2 bangs of black hair framed his face. He had tear marks running from his eyes to his lower chin. He wore a simple black shirt with the Uchiha fan on the back and pants with white shinobi tape around his calves. He also had open-toed shinobi shoes on. It's nice to meet you Itachi, Naruto groaned as they both struggled trying to force the kunai out of each other's hands. I'm Naruto, so I take it that you want to spar? He asked. The smile on either boy's face began to grow. Kaiten Kankakek no jutsu Kaiten Kankakek no jutsu. Makoto and Kushina heard the Kaiten jutsu being called out. The pair of them had been talking for about 10 minutes. They both jumped up off the couch in a panic and made their way quickly out into the backyard. 2 streams of fire fought for dominance, Kushina and Makoto looked horrified. They spotted Jiraiya watching them with a small smirk on his face. What are you doing just watching this? She yelled. Why would you want to stop this? asked Jiraiya. What? Yelled Mikoto. The smiles haven't left their faces since they've started, commented Jiraiya as the streams of fire dissipated. Naruto and Itachi charged at each other, each with a kunai in hand. They both swung forward, the pair ending up on opposite sides. The prodigies pivoted back and began trading blows and slashes. Itachi swiped horizontally and Naruto vaulted Itachi and went to punch him from his blind spot. Once he made contact, Itachi replaced himself with a log. Naruto channeled chakra to his feet and flipped back. How did you know I was going to do that? Asked Itachi. You aren't the only one with a Kekkei Genkai, although it doesn't work when I tell it to, only sometimes, he chuckled as he threw the kunai at the ground between. Truce. He threw his hands up. Itachi smiled. Alright, said Itachi. Truce, he chuckled when Naruto began to rub the back of his head. Those kids, Jiraiya and Namikaze laughed. Why are they both laughing? Asked Kushina. They're even weirder than they used to be, commented Mikoto. Jiraiya chuckled. Because he smiled. Their friendship is born out of mutual respect, which will turn into a rivalry, and a rivalry that those two will grow through. Becoming best of friends, he chuckled. You two are exactly like them, he rubbed the back of his head. Well, of course Naruto-chan is way stronger, commented Kushina. What? Itachi-kun was about to win. Get some glasses, Grandma, Mikoto huffed. And you take a lesson from those two? Asked Jiraiya. The bickering mothers looked up to see their sons laughing together. Not too long ago they were like that, starting their journey to becoming a shinobi. They both saw themselves, their sons had just become friends. So you're from the Uchiha clan, well obviously since your name is Itachi Uchiha, said Naruto as he rubbed the back of his head. Yes, that is correct, said Itachi. What have you learned so far? He asked. I've mastered the 3 chakra control exercises, I've learned all the basic Academy Ninjutsu, Akaten Jutsu, and some Fuin Jutsu. I've also trained in leaf katas, said Naruto with a smile. Itachi nodded. I assume you've done a lot more than me? Asked Naruto. Why would you assume that? Asked Itachi. Aren't you the Namikaze heir, stated Itachi. Yes, well, I hear that the Uchiha heir starts training at age 4, whereas I started at age 5, he said. Actually you assume wrong, he smiled. I haven't learned much more than you, I've only had more time to practice, he chuckled when he saw Naruto sigh in relief. I was worried there, I thought that you were miles ahead of me, he sat down on the cool grass and Itachi joined him. Who says I'm not, joked Itachi. Say the spar we just had, well I could tell you were holding back, said Naruto with a smile. Well I could tell you were holding back, as well, said Itachi. Naruto and Itachi's expression softened. Suddenly they both broke out in a smile, they shot up and resumed their spar. Their smiles never leave their faces, not for a second. The two proud mothers watched as their younger children had recently joined them. They watched their 2 eldest children spar. They both saw themselves and what they were like as shinobi rivals. Unknown to them, those 2 children were going to go down in the history books as 2 of Konoha's greatest shinobi ever. We have a problem, stated Minato. He and the other shinobi council members assembled, Kaharu and Himeru were seated next to him. I'm afraid that I miscalculated, he said sadly. What exactly is the problem? Asked Shikaku. My son, Ren, the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, he sighed. The seal isn't going to work like I wished it to. It was initially unwise to seal away that much chakra, however, the seal is holding it back quite nicely, he said. Then what's the problem with Minato-sama? Asked Inoichi. The seal worked too well, Ren will never know that he's a Jinchuriki unless someone tells him. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I wanted Ren to master Kyuubi's chakra when he came of age. Unfortunately none of the Kyuubi's chakra is mixing with Ren's, meaning that Ren won't be aided in any way, nor will he have any benefits of being a Jinchuriki, explained Minato. In a time of uncertainty such as this Ren would be greatly aided by being a Jinchuriki, stated Himeru. What do you suggest? Asked Kaharu. Another vessel, Danzo, stood up. I may have a solution, he stated. Minato grew uneasy. Danzo was a very suspicious man, Minato wasn't sure if he had his son's best interest at heart or his own. Yes, I pushed Minato. Kusagakur, he said. Kusa? Asked Shikaku. Yes, they were greatly weakened in the war and are in need of allies, he smiled. Okage-sama, I have a remedy, however, at the present time I do not have all the details confirmed, he narrowed his visible eye. Well alright then Danzo, I trust that you have this village's best interest at heart, he nodded in the affirmative. Well alright then, you said another vessel, do you intend to capture one? He asked as he narrowed his eyes. Of course not Hokage-sama, I will not act without your consent, he said. You will inform me of any developments whatever they may be. Also this whole affair is to remain secret, nobody is to speak of this meeting outside this room. Ren will be told of his Jinchuriki status by myself and Kushina. When we transfer the yang half of the 9 tails out of Ren, he will be sedated and his conscious mind will remain unaware of anything. The sealing will occur out of the village, similar to the births of my 2 sons. My personal Anbu will also be present and will monitor the situation. Also, we are to properly inform the new host of his or her soon-to-be status. If they come from Kusa, then we are to meet them at the border and escort them to Konoha. Danzo, I trust that you will work collaboratively with Kaharu and Himeru. You will report back to me with your plans. I will also be present in the diplomatic talks with Sunagakur. If they wish to give us a new host, as a symbol of an alliance, we will not turn their offer away. He stood up and sighed. Meeting adjourned. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time, till then sayonara.